A Moment with Dr. AudreyAnn Moses.
Hello, everybody. How are you doing? This is Dr. AudreyAnn Moses, and this is a moment with Dr. AudreyAnn. I am so happy to have with us today two of my favorite of a whole bunch of friends that are authors. So, we're going to be talking about reading and writing today. And this is Dr. Audreyann's Moments, and I want to introduce to you Mrs. Carolyn Coleman. Now, Mrs. Carolyn Coleman is, I call her nurse extraordinaire
Oh, you're sweet.
because she is a nurse and she does everything. She tell those doctors what to do. I know she do. So, but she has a lot more going on than nursing, and I know I'm hoping that she's going to tell you a lot about what she's done. I'm gonna let her introduce herself, and I'm gonna let uh, Pastor Anthony Saunders, retired United States Navy, and my cousin. In the South we do that. My cousin, and so we're going to be talking about his books, and he has phenomenal books. And I just found out I missed one somewhere along in the way, so I got to go and get that one that I missed. But he'll be talking about his ministry and the things that he's doing in Virginia, because he lives in Virginia and Carolyn lives in
Alabama.
Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
Alabama. I was getting ready to say Birmingham, but but I knew that wasn't right.
Yeah, it's
Even
not
though
too far. It's not far.
not too far from Birmingham.
Yeah, yeah.
So anyway, Miss Carolyn, could you go ahead and introduce yourself?
I'll be happy to. I'm Carolyn Coleman, and I am a registered nurse. Have been for over 35 years. Okay, I really enjoy what I've done. I've done a good little bit in my field. It's not just always at the bedside, but that's where you have to start out. Um, I am a mother, a wife, a sister, a good friend, a cousin. What I advocate for underserved, or people who just stop me and ask me questions, or people who call me and ask me questions. I give them the best that I know. People will ask you, but then they don't want to take your advice, but that's all right. I didn't call you, you called me.
Yeah.
So that is what it is. But I say that to say I share my information, what I have. If I feel like it can benefit you, then hey, we're going for it. And then sometimes you just
Hmm.
have to encourage people to ask questions of their healthcare providers. It's not being
Hmm.
argumentative. You're not, you know, doubting what they say, but it is okay for you to ask questions.
Hmm.
Um, I am an author. I am a Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award when it comes to volunteerism and things of that nature.
Yeah.
And didn't realize volunteering would lead to such a prestigious honor. I didn't get in it for that. I got in it truly to help people. Being with the health fairs at the hospitals, or a part of being a part of a couple of organizations where volunteerism was um, the biggest thing that they did, especially in the underserved community, the underserved, the
Hmm.
marginalized community. And I still do that now. I'm a part of the Birmingham Black Nurses Association. I am a lifetime member of the National Black Nurses Association. I'm a member of Charms Medi Health. And with those organizations, um, we do a lot of health fairs, we do a lot of education. So, they've been around several years, but I haven't been a part of them. I don't think 5 years yet, but still, it's a great
Hmm.
organization, plus a great ministry as well. Because when you are going in and out of churches, in and out of parks, you are ministering to God's people just to educate
Yeah.
them on questions that they may have, or problems that are more prone to minority communities.
Right. Mhm.
And like I said, I am an author. I'm a #1 bestseller on about 5. Those are the
Well, we're gonna
anthologies.
get into those in a second. I don't want you to tell it all at one time.
Okay. So it's the anthologies, and I do fiction as well. But I've had to put a lot of things on hold. I like fiction because you make it your own, or you make your character into what you want your character
What
to
you
be.
want it to be.
So
Mhm.
that's basically, I think, it at this point in time.
Thank you, thank you. Um, Mr. Anthony,
Yes,
Pastor,
ma'am. Thank you so much for this opportunity, Dr. Audrey.
I gotta hear you.
Thank you
Gotta
for
hear
this
your preacher voice.
opportunity, Dr. Audrey, and I appreciate you very much. And nice meeting you, Ms. Carolyn. My name is Anthony Sanders. I live here in Virginia Beach. My wife and I, we've been together 31 years come March. Married, a husband and wife, but we've been dating 35 years. So we still keep our dating routine going. We have 3 adult children. They're very successful in their own right. To date, I have published 3 devotionals. Start Your Day with God, 90-Day Journal Between You and God, and Let's Do It Again, God. I've been featured in 4 gospel stage plays over the last few years. I got one coming up later on this year as well. Traveled a lot, retired military, served 32 years in the Navy, and I've been to over 33 different countries. I do enjoy meeting people. I enjoy cooking, enjoy writing, of course, and preaching the gospel of Jesus Christ and showing His love and the passion toward all of humanity. So that's me in a nutshell, and I'm very grateful for this opportunity.
Mm. So, as we, as I said earlier, when we all were chatting, March is National Reading Month. So, in looking at National Reading Month, what are some of the things that you think? Now, I mean, we know reading is fundamental because you can't do anything, if you can't read. I remember stories like even my grandmother, she had a third grade education. She could barely read, but she could do pretty much anything, but she did those things because she learned how to do them watching others and people telling her how to do it. And then that's how she learned, not because she could read. Nowadays, that should not be something that people would have to go through. So, what is it, do you think, is the main thing that parents need to look at? And when it comes to reading, Carolyn, you as in the medical field, you know, um, Pastor Anthony in the ministry, what do you all think is the most important thing that parents need to look at, and how do you think would be the easiest way for parents to help their children to start getting into reading and learning how to read?
But me personally, um, they need to read every day. I don't care if it's not for 5 or 10 minutes. I don't care. When they're young, if they see you reading, then they're wanting, kids mimic what they see their parents do. So if they see that you're reading and you can buy them the picture books, that starts them off because you have to start young. You can't wait till they get to be fifth and sixth grade and encourage reading. Okay. I'm not saying it's too late. I'm just saying start them as early as possible. And I'm not saying that my advice is the best advice, but this is what I did. A lot of times when my daughter and I were out shopping, she wanted to go into one of the local bookstores in the mall. I just felt sometimes I'd be tired and I didn't want to go, but I was like, let her go, let her find something. But it had to be read. She loved hardback books, those hardcovers. They're more
Right.
expensive. And I was like, no, we're gonna
Yeah.
have to get this one. But she enjoyed reading, and I did not want to dampen that. And that's what I did
Hmm.
with my son and my grandson as well. You have
Yeah.
to meet them where they are and encourage
Right.
that. And so that has to
Right.
be a daily journey. You can't just do it
Hmm.
every
Yeah.
wee once in a while.
Right. Yeah. Pastor?
Yes, I totally agree what Ms. Carolyn said, but also will add that make going to the library a part of the routine. Uh,
Mhm.
make it a weekly thing. Just go to the library, spend some time in the library because they always have activities going on in the library, but also in this day and age, make sure that people are staying up on history, understanding our history, understanding where we come from, where we are, and where we're heading, that type of thing. And then for me, I enjoy reading bedtime stories to my children. That was something that they in their early 30s and early 20s, and they still remember that time, made great memories reading with our children. That's something that they'll keep with them and then pass it on to their children as well.
Mhm. Now, Anthony, one of the things that I did, both of us are retired Navy. And so more so than any of the other services, we we spend a lot of time away from our children.
Correct.
And so were you ever able to come up with, and I'm saying this for any occupation where you are away from your children, you know, some. But was there anything that you did while you were away that helped to encourage your kids to read?
Voice recording stories. That's something that we did, and the Navy helped set that up. And then two, being able to call and encourage them. And while they were growing up, and they saw my wife and I both in school, furthering our education, and they'll be asking questions, "What are we studying?" And we had an opportunity to explain to them, and even post our grades on the refrigerator so they can see that, oh, if mom and dad can do it, I can do it as well. Um, Setting them up for success by being that example.
Mhm. One of the things I did when my son was 6 years old when my ship went on cruise. We were on the West Coast, so we were gone for 8 months. And so one of the things I did was Hallmark, I think, had this little kit,
Mhm.
and it was like a sharing kit. So I left with him half of the kit, and it had the envelope, it had the letterhead, and it had like little prompts to write about. And
Mhm.
I had the other half. So I would write him a letter and mail him his letter, and then he would write me a letter. Well, my mother would help him write me a letter, and he'd send it back. And in that, I would ask him to let me know what he was reading. And and um and my youngest son, he was only 4 or 5 at the time. And so my husband would send his work, like things that he was writing. So even though I couldn't hear him read, I knew he was reading because he was writing.
Yeah.
So they were writing and sending letters back and forth. And that was how I helped them, even though I wasn't there. And so we have to like make sure that we regard, even if you're not home every day with your children, you can come up with different ways to help your children to gain a love for reading.
Yeah.
And again, like you were saying, get into your history, especially now.
Mhm.
It's so important that the parents gather as much as they can, spend a few extra dollars, buy some history books, buy some, go to the library. Our library has sales once or twice a year. Buy whatever you can, because we don't know, one day the library might be closed and we can't get in it. you know so so use that time. We have the internet now. Use that time and those resources to help your children to start learning their history and learning their and just learning, getting enjoyment for reading. So Miss Carolyn, when I know, because I've been a patient So I know that you have had probably some time struggling with parents or with people in general, not just parents, but with patients in general, because they don't want to read the instructions. They want you to tell them everything. Okay, just tell me, because I do that. Okay, look, just tell me what to do, you know, but it's something as simple as, even if you don't want to ever pick up a book, you may not ever want to pick up a book to read, but
Mhm.
you got to read those prescriptions on the back of that medicine bottle.
Mm-hmm.
You got to read that paper to know that if you're taking three different kind of medications, you got to know if those three medications work together. And so your doctor is going to tell you that maybe, but you want to be able to read so that you know those things yourself. So there are so many things that reading is important for. So, Miss Carolyn, how do you encourage your patients to take the time to read what they need to know in order to keep themselves healthy?
Well, you really kind of have to meet them where they are. There are, well, my doctor said this and my doctor said that, and that's wonderful. But now most hospitals, they have teaching sheets. And the teaching sheets are written, I think, like on a sixth grade level. So it's not these huge medical terms. They break it down and they make it more easier to read. But still, a lot of people won't do that. So you kind of have to show them the teaching sheet and point out a few things. And it's not long and drawn out, but it is simple and to the point. And I have encouraged my patients. They say, I take the blue pill. You ought to know what it is. And then I take the pink pill and it got a plus sign on it. I know you're a nurse, you know. Well, no, I don't. I'm not going to try again, And so I have encouraged, especially before the age of computers, and even with the age of computers, write down the name of your medication, write down how many milligrams, write down how many times a day you're to take it. Well, y'all have it on record here. What if you have to go to a different facility? What if you have to go to a different doctor that's not affiliated with this? It takes time to pull your medical record. If you have that list with you, I tell them, write it on a piece of paper, write it in a journal, write it in a tablet, but have that with you. And when there's a change, scratch through it. Put your dates on.
Mm-hmm.
What date did you have this exam? And that's another way to keep people reading and engaged, and it helps them to be more engaged to their health or
Mm-hmm.
to their loved ones' health. Because sometimes
Mm-hmm.
you need a partner to go with you to help you interpret what the physician has told you.
Yeah. Because I know, like, I take care of my brother's medication, and I knew what he's supposed to take, the names of them and how much and everything. But I tell you, I ordered his medication one time and the bottle came and I opened up the bottle and it was yellow pills instead of blue pills.
Yes. Yes.
And I was like, wait a minute, this is wrong. And I'm calling the pharmacy. I'm like, these y'all gave me the wrong medicine. And they said, oh no, we just changed the color. I said, don't ever do
That's
that
it.
again.
Yeah.
But I agree how important it is to know. I try to keep my brother knowing what he takes, but his doctors also know because of his condition. His doctor knows, but like you said, what if he have to go to the emergency room? you know
I agree.
so yeah,
Yeah,
but yeah, it's so important to have a list of what you take and keep it updated. And I'm really glad now that the doctors, every time you go, they give you a new medicine list. I like that because it's always up to date. It's best they know it's up to date, and so
yes.
you can always have something to pass if you have to go to the emergency room, in another state.
Or
So,
in another
you know,
country.
yeah. So
Yeah,
you at least they know what you have something to show them.
absolutely.
So tell me about your books. So Pastor Anthony,
Yes,
tell
ma'am.
us about your books.
My
And if
first
you have them, show them.
I'll show the last one. The first one is Start Your Day with God. It's a journal between you and God. It's the second one as well. And Start Your Day, it's a daily devotional to get people reading and working and developing on their walk of faith daily. And then the second one is a spin-off of that will have the daily devotional, but will also require some writing out your notes and daily prayers. And in the back of that book is a study on faith, favor, and healing, because we all have some things maybe going on, and those extra scriptures that will easily to read and understand, as well as the study to help us walk in the favor of God and to walk by faith and to walk in His healing. And the final book as of today is Let's Do It Again, God. It's a daily devotional. Uh, uh, it's
Mhm.
it's 6 months, a daily devotion for 6 months. And the premise is if God did it before, He can do it again. You just have to have faith that He will lead you through the trials and tribulations, through the storms of life, one moment at a time, one step at a time. You just got to have faith in Him. That if He did it, I promise you.
Mhm. And these books, devotionals, are an awesome way for people to read because they're short stories that tell you a lot, you know. And yours, I know one of them that I have, you can fill in the blanks. I mean,
Yes,
like it has a place for you, like to write your notes and
yes,
things, which
that's
is
the
awesome.
90 days with journal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So devotionals are an awesome way, and those study journals where you're reading the Bible, so you're getting used to reading the Bible. You know, you have a question and you're reading the Bible, and then you're writing your thoughts. You know, the devotional gives you like a explanation, and then you can write your own thoughts and see what more can you ask for. You're reading and you're using your critical thinking to think about questions and things, so that is great. um and Miss Carolyn, you have like 1,000 books.
Mhm. Yeah. My Gentry series is fictional, and it's about friends and how they navigate life, grow up together. They basically met in college, and
Mhm.
the different decisions they have to make throughout life, but they support one another. It's not like we're always kumbaya. We're a people,
Mhm.
and we're friends, and we're gonna tell it like it is. And so it
Right.
turned out to be one, then it ended up being two, then three. So I ended up with five. But Pay Per View Publishing is repurposing those because I self published those. I still really enjoy the Gentry series, and I think other people will as well. It wasn't perfect,
Mhm.
but it was mad. Okay. So
Awesome. Yes,
you know,
I
that's
love
why
them.
they're being repurposed. And the anthologies, they um Christian nonfiction. So they are telling the story. Our chapters tell a story that's passionate for us, that meets the core
Mhm.
title of the book. And my very first one, um, that I was a part of is The Breaking Point. And so many people called me and was so pleased with my chapter, telling me,
Mhm.
I always knew, or I always felt that you had a story to tell, or that you were, for lack of a term, a phenomenal person. But to read your chapter really
Right.
encouraged me to think more,
Mhm.
to do more.
Yeah.
We all go through
Mhm.
something, but we don't
Yeah.
have to stay in that something that we're in. The breaking point was breaking through whatever barrier could potentially keep you from,
Yeah.
basically living your life, or that was the time for you to say, I got to get out of this situation. The stories in The Breaking Point, just with like any other anthology, they're unique because they're unique to that individual and that individual
Mhm.
circumstance, but it gives
Right.
other people hope.
Yeah. Speaking of pay per V, Carolyn and I both published through them. And Anthony, I remember a while back I had sent you something. I think you were trying to retire, and so
Hmm.
it wasn't a good time. But I will be letting you know when because she does anthologies for military and veterans, and
Okay.
she does
Yeah.
anthologies for boys to men,
Hmm.
and they are phenomenal. And I do want to get your name in those anthologies.
It's good.
Okay.
So I'll make sure that she knows to reach out to you, when she does the next ones,
That's true. That's
But
good.
the one thing about anthologies is it gives you an opportunity to write a short story
That's right.
and to get to meet other authors,
That's true.
and your name gets out there with all these other authors,
That's true.
and it's just good. So I like participating. I need a break now because I did 3 anthologies, one right behind the other, and so I'm taking a break from anthologies right now. But I really do enjoy them. So we have literally ran out of time. But what I want to do is for both of you to kind of tell people how they can find you, and also make sure you all send me your information for where to get your books from, and everything, so because so that I can post it with the video. But Anthony, and then Miss Carolyn.
Thank you so much for this opportunity, Dr. AudreyAnn. You can find me on Facebook at Anthony R. Sanders. You can look for my picture or a Bible scripture there. And you can also find me on Instagram at Anthony Sanders 2043.
Hmm. And they can get your books from either one of those places.
They can get my books from Amazon.com. All 3 books are
Okay,
listed on Amazon.
from Amazon. Okay, and what I'll do is, I'm like I said, I'm going to post it so everybody can find your books, because, like I said, I've read 2, and I guess I have to get the third one because that one I missed it somehow. So I'm going to get that one, Miss Carolyn.
Um, Thank you, AudreyAnn, for inviting me and having me on your platform. I am honored, and I enjoy speaking with you anyway. So hey, that's a win-win-win. You can find me on Facebook as Carolyn Coleman. You can find me on Instagram as Carolyn_author. But you can get my books from cpwbookshelf.com. That's my website. cpwbookshelf.com.
Mm-hmm. And so I just want to thank both of you. It's been a pleasure. And what is it? Laquita says a plump, pleasing
Plump,
pleasure.
pleasing, better than a triple decker peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
so
yeah.
yeah, so I really appreciate you all coming on, and there will be other opportunities. So just listen for me to call on you. But I really appreciate you coming on so that we can help people to understand how important reading is, and how relaxing it is. And to just, you have a long day and you come home and you sit in your favorite chair, get some tea or water or whatever it is you sip on, and read a book. So, and it doesn't have to be, I mean, I have books. I have real thick books, and I have real teeny books. It just depends on whichever one you want to read at the time. And so just enjoy yourselves, enjoy your lives, and remember, reading is fundamental, and it is necessary. So thank you all very much, and again, you'll be seeing more um, uh, uh, programs about reading for the rest of this month. This month of March is National Reading Month. And so enjoy yourselves and have a blessed day and be a blessing to others. All right, then. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.